Well, Claire is Dorothy's daughter, Dorothy Quincannon, who was a famous movie star, and she has grown up in immense wealth. She has a very tumultuous relationship with her mother, to say the very least. She's married to this rather boring wannabe, maybe rich, probably not, loser husband. So she's someone who's very privileged, very sure of her money not being her own. So she's very dependent, codependent on her mother, which makes her dislike her even more, I guess. So she's a bit, I mean, I like her very much, but she's certainly somebody who doesn't seem to have a lot of ambition for herself, and who sort of has an arrangement with her husband and spends her days lounging in various clubs and takes lovers. But she's quite smart, and she definitely is looking for love. She's constantly putting herself out there, I think, trying to find the real deal. Well, what more can I say? I think Claire was born in America. Her mother, I think, originally was from Ireland. She was probably a Broadway star who, met this wealthy man who fell in love with her, the ambassador, infamous ambassador in our movie. And, she was advised to call her daughter her niece for many years so that she could be this innocent, beautiful movie star, as it was quite common, I guess, back in the days. And so I think there's a lot of resentment from her daughter, obviously, growing up in her shadow and, having to pretend that your mom's not your mom, I'm sure, is really dark and leaves a constant stain on your soul. So I think there's that true sense of darkness, and yet she loves her mother and is looking out for her. And her mother's an aging movie star, so I think she has compassion for her. And they're in competition, they're in conflict, but ultimately I think both women look for the same thing, which is love, and even though you have all the money in the world, what you want is to be happy. Being in a period film is always fun because you don't get to play with old cars and those beautiful costumes and the settings and the hairstyles and all of those things very often. So it sparks your imagination in many ways. I think people spoke differently back then, or at least I think so. So I think we do act a little different because it's a little bit more proper, I guess, old worldly, I guess. Things were very grand, and value was put on different things, I guess, than today. So it's a lovely learning experience, I guess, and it's always, the stories, those classic noir films don't get made all that often anymore, and I find them terribly, joyful and beautiful to look at, and men were real men and women were all women, So I don't know, it's lovely for the eyes. Well, one of my favorite actresses for sure is Marlene Dietrich, and I grew up on her films, and so she came to Hollywood around this time, and her fashion has always inspired me. I'm not, my character is not really that fashion forward, with those cool pants and pantsuits and stuff, but the hair, I think it's very much part of growing up watching The Great Gatsby, all those great films. I mean, that's a little earlier, but the hairstyles and the joie de vivre and these grand characters that seem larger than life have always inspired me, yeah. Well, Liam and I have actually made a movie before, I want to say, almost 10 years ago, and we had a really great experience, very different film, action movie, and so I was thrilled to be working with him again, and something that's a little bit deeper than chasing cars. You know, he's the same. It's funny. I don't think I'd seen him in at least 8 years, and I feel like he hasn't changed at all. He's lovely. He's very low key and very humble, and you know, shows up, does his work, and which is lovely. You know, he's always reliable. And Jessica, to me, that was a huge plus. You know, a great honor to be cast as her daughter, and you know, I'm a huge fan of hers, so I'm a little bit starstruck. You know what? Spain is such a great match, for, I guess, for Hollywood in those days, because I come to set every day and I'm like, I'm blown away by how great this looks and how much I believe that I'm in LA, because LA, or what I imagine LA would have been like, because LA is nothing like this anymore, you know, and this nostalgic Hollywood idea, I guess, that we all have truly has come to life in this film, because LA is kind of sad now. You know, it's not the place that I would choose to really live in anymore, you know, and this era of Hollywood is just so different and amazing, and you know, sometimes I think, thank God I became an actor, that I get to live at least a little bit in those times.